How's it going, guys? Winner Kills here, and welcome back to a brand new feature match. Here we have the round 4 feature match, the finals, the table 1 feature match from May 1st locals. And we have Dino, Kaiju, Dino, whatever you want to call it, versus the Invoked Shaddolls Dogmatica deck. Everybody's favorite dueling deck. So I believe this Dino player was in the round 1 feature match, and it's funny that our Invoked player starts with terraforming, because if you guys saw that match, the other Invoked player that was on did not have the same luck that this Invoked player had, where his terraforming was met with an Ash. But this time it looks like the correct play will be made, waiting for the Alistair to hit the board, where it is then hit with an Ash Blossom. And then, I mean, Ash still proving to be very, very good here. It's going to cause him to set 1 back row and end his turn. I believe it was an Shaddolls fusion, which could be pretty darn good here, especially if it'll lead to a Winda. But we're going to see the normal summon of Oviraptor go through successfully for the effect. No Lost World here. Unfortunate, but still pretty good nonetheless. It looks like he's going to go right for Coatlas. Which I don't think Coatlas is too much of like a mainstay card in most Dino builds at the moment. I could be wrong, but I think most of the builds that I've played against recently don't really run Coatlas, besides this Dino player here. And there's the double evolution pill. Ash doing what it does, sort of serving as a double purpose in this deck. Not only is it to slow the opponent down, but of course it is also to get a non-Dino in the grave for a card like double evolution pill. And not summoning UCT. Summoning out Overtext Coatlas. So 2 copies at least here in the main deck. But Coatlas is actually not too bad of a card, especially since, you know, UCT isn't 100% needed here. There isn't a massive board that he can Book of Eclipse with it. So it might as well just serve as like a spell trap negate by popping another Dino. So interesting play there. Coatlas, I believe, has that 27. So swing over the Alistair. And then another 18 from Oviraptor, dropping down to 4,500 after all is said and done. It's not too much damage there, but, you know, it's enough. Putting up a spell trap negate. Looks like he's going to set 1, and that'll do it for his turn. No Link shenanigans there. No rank 4s, no Dolka. Although if he did have a Dolka here, it would be a much better end board, but, I mean, this will have to do. Our Shaddolls player looks like he's going to set 1. And actually, we're going to see a Super Poly. I thought it was Shaddolls Fusion, but it is going to be Super Poly. Looks like he's discarding Shaddolls Beast for that. And he's going to Fusion Summon for Shaddolls Winda, getting rid of the Coatlas. Of course, Coatlas cannot respond, because Super Poly is an insane card. And, yeah, setting the monster first. And then going for the Super Poly play. That's going to play around Torrential Tribute very well. And it looks like the other monster that he had set might have been Squamata. Or it might have been Ariel. I think it was Ariel, because he does banish 2. And I don't think he went into the deck there. So he'll get Winda out on the board. Only limited to 1 special summon. And, you know, do a little DD crowing to the graveyard, which is good. You know, clearing excess dinos out of the grave is good for slowing down Miscellaneous Saurus. And, of course, you know, clearing any dinos you can makes double evolution pill a little less viable, or just hard summoning UCT in general, which is mainly how this Winda is going to get outed. If it's going to get outed, it's going to be met with a UCT, which, of course, you know, it reminds me way back in the day why Mermail was like a really good deck against the Shaddolls deck, because Megalo was your 1 special summon, but that's all it took. You know, you could generate a bunch of advantage off the Megalo, and the Megalo could swing right over the window like nothing ever happened. Similar concept here. Your 1 special summon is very huge and can be protected, in this case with Miscellaneous Saurus. Does have 1 set back row, though. If it wasn't impermanence, I would imagine it would have already been used, but Dogeron coming over top of it, which is not surprising, since this is like a Dino Kaiju deck. And it looks like he's just going to normal summon the Archosaur and not activate the effect. Gonna link for Relinquished Anima. And it is technically in line with the Dogeran that should be on his field, but of course, neither players are... players really are, at this point in our locals, aren't supposed to put their cards on their opponent's mats, obviously for hygiene precautions in the current state of things. And Looks like we're going to see Schism get activated. And I'm assuming this is on response to the summon. But in Grave, we have Darks, 3 Darks, and a Water, I believe. So Winda could be made here. Apgalone could be made here. And it looks like we're going to see Call by the Grave, and it's going to banish the Winda. I'm not sure that's going to make too much of a difference here. It's not really going to stop him from being able to summon something out of the extra deck. Although banishing the Aerial probably would have been best because it gets that other attribute out of the grave so it can stop Apgalone, which is what's going to come down here. So Apgalone is going to, I would imagine, negate the Anima. And we could also possibly see if that does survive the turn. That being linked into Gravity Controller, which is pretty strong. Apgalone into Gravity Controller generates quite a bit of advantage. So yeah, the Apgalone should technically be summoned in the other extra monster zone there, yeah. A little bit, it gets a little confusing sometimes with the new rules and everything and playing in person, where you can't put cards on the opponent's mat, and sometimes the extra monster zones that don't look like they're occupied are occupied. Can be a little confusing. So they correct it pretty quick. Apgalone negating the Anima, so we cannot equip the Dogoran to it, which is pretty good. Otherwise, he'll have a 3k body on his field, which could out pretty much any fusion that he summons. And it also looks like he's not opting to send Anima with Schism, because doing so would put a non-Dino in the grave to fuel Double Evolution Pill. And he had the Ash as backup anyways, which is really strong there because he happened to have a non-Dino in hand. He's trying to play around the Torrential, the Double Evolution Pill. Even when he can't play around it, in the ways that he's tried to, he just have the Ash for it. So just covering all bases here. Now that is just a lonely Relinquish Anima sitting there, not really doing anything. And we'll see where he can go from here. Alistair in the grave, no way to get it back just yet. So he will link that into Gravity Controller as expected. Discarding a Super Poly for Apgalone's effect, and going to play that Shaddolls Fusion. I can also see now why, another reason why he might not have wanted to send the Anima is, of course, to make sure there is an extra deck monster on his side of the field, or monster that was special summoned from the extra deck to fuel possible Shaddolls Fusion. So looking a little bit into the future there, going for Hedgehog, sending Nibiru as well for a light target, going for Construct, and then I imagine we'll see Hedgehog, Chainlink 1, Construct, Chainlink 2. Looks like Hedgehog is going, or the other way. Construct, Chainlink 1, Hedgehog, Chainlink 2. Hedgehog adding Shaddolls Dragon. And it looked like he was going to send Wendy off of the Construct, but don't know if he's going to continue with that. Looks like he's going to send El Shaddolls Fusion here. Because he could normal summon the dragon. Yeah, I was going to say he could normal summon the dragon here and make another link play to get back the L. But that doesn't really leave him too much of a fusion play. So it looks like he is going to auto-kill the Anima and swing in with everything, and our opponent is just going to scoop right then and there, and we're into game 2. Dino coming back, or Invoked rather, coming back from what was seemingly a bad position. And we're into game 2 here. Invoked up 1-0. And looks like here he's getting started with Ecclesia. It's met with Imperm, but he's cracked. He's got the follow-up of Nadir's Servant, sending El Shaddolls Apgalone to add Knight. And then we'll see Apgalone here. And while he adds off Apgalone, I do want to mention, if you guys are interested in picking up some amazing TCG accessories, playmats, dice, deck boxes, sleeves, etc., check out Imperium Duelist. They've been a sponsor of this channel for a long, long time, and could not be more grateful to work with them, because they do put out some amazing products. And if you guys want to shop on their site and support the channel in the process, you can. If you guys use my discount code WinnerKills10 off at checkout, you guys will save 10% off your entire order, and of course support the channel in the process. And if you guys are shopping on TCG Player, please do not forget to use the affiliate link I have to their site down in the description of all my videos. So if you guys shop and check out using those links, a small bit of the revenue from your purchase goes right back in the channel and helps out way more than you would think. So, yeah, getting back to it, it looks like he drew, or discarded Beast, rather, off of Apgalone. And that was going to net him a draw. And, of course, now that Nadir's Servant has resolved, he is locked out of the extra deck. So he is going to set 2. And looks like that is going to do it for his turn. He does have Fleur-de-Lis in hand, which is pretty strong since, you know, Ecclesia is on board. So long as his opponent goes into the extra deck, he does have that non-target negate in the hand. Of course, 2 back row could be really anything at this point. Especially if it's Schism, he does have, I believe, 2 darks in the grave, so that could fuel a Winda. But is he cracked enough to have opened? Well, no, he searched the Schism. What do I mean if he opened the Schism? He searched it off the Apgalone. I'm losing my mind. So yeah, he's gonna go for Fossil Dig, for Miscellaneousaurus, and there is Lost World. Probably wish he would have had that game 1. Probably would have helped out much more. And we're gonna see Oviraptor Chainlink 1, Lost World Chainlink 2. One of the most powerful openings that the deck can do. And we're going to see a token hit the field as a result of Lost World resolving. And he's going to go for the Oviraptor search now. And remember, he does have Miscellaneousaurus in hand here. So if there was any thing that could stop the Oviraptor from resolving, you know, Miscellaneousaurus could be there to make sure it does resolve. And it looks like he's going to add UCT. And he's going to pitch Misk to grant the immunity to all dinos during this main phase. And see if our Dino player has a response here. Or not our Dino player, Invoked player. And it looks like at the moment he does not. Maybe thinking on the res of Miscellaneous. Checking both back. I know the Schism's there. So it looks like he's going to go ahead and use the Schism right now. Banishing both Beast and Apgalone from the grave to summon out Winda. And that will send the Oviraptor. Now, I'm assuming this is in response, of course, to Miscellaneousaurus. Yeah, that would make the most sense. Otherwise, the Misk, you know, would protect the Ovi. But this is activating in response to the Miscellaneousaurus. And, of course, the effect of Schism is all one effect. The effect to summon and send, all one effect. So if it is chained in direct response to Miscellaneous, the Oviraptor will still get sent, which is pretty huge because it's going to stop him from using its other effect to pop the token on the side of the field and continue to go off. And not only is he going to go for Winda, we're also going to see Artifact Sanctum for Lancia, and that's going to tribute itself off on resolution, making it so our Dino player cannot banish. So the UCT is off, and so is the Miscellaneousaurus. So as a Dino player at this point, I don't really see what kind of plays can be made. Double Evolution Pill is off. Like, so many cards have been turned off at this point. It's actually pretty crazy. And, of course, Fleur-de-Lis is now live, especially since he has his own Winda on field, and Ecclesia is still chilling out. He's going to set one, and he's going to pass. So we'll see where this goes. How easily can he assemble game here, if he can? And, you know, does he really need to assemble game this turn? That's also the question. All non-dinos here also are under the effect of Lost World, everything down by 500. So it looks like Ecclesia is attacking for 1,000, because is at 1,000 right now, because it's losing 5. Of course, Winda cannot attack directly. So he'll just take 1,000. I believe the token has 0/0. I was probably wondering if the token had any attack. If you could get in some extra damage with it, but I believe the Lost World token is 0/0. And I think our Invoke player has another Sanctum, which is huge. So I think he's going to set Hedgehog and Sanctum, which if the Hedgehog survives, which I imagine at this point with Winda and a Lancia resolving, the Hedgehog is probably going to survive the turn, which is going to net a fusion spell. And there's the Lancia and then the Resolution, Lancia effect. No banishing for you, Dino player. So, couldn't do anything last turn with the cards that he had available. And if that top deck wasn't something incredible, I imagine he can't do much this turn either. But he does have a Dogoran. Dogoran is going to get rid of the Winda. Of course, there are no targets in the grave for Winda to add back, so that's a pretty good trade right there. But of course, you know, yeah, you can special summon more than once now, but, you know, you can't banish, which is a huge part of the Dino strategy. So he's going to summon the Dogoran, set a card, and pass. I'm not sure why our Dino player really hasn't scooped at this point. The writing is on the wall, and he's going to flip up Hedgehog, and it looks like he's going to have an Imperm for it. Okay, so the Hedgehog is going to get successfully negated here. Now, maybe this is where things start to turn in the favor here, because I doubt, and I don't think he has another Sanctum, and with that, it means no Lancia. And our Dino players had a few turns to wait here to play, and if you cannot game them, things might slip out of control next turn. So if our Invoked player is going to make a push, I feel like maybe now is the turn to do it. But still, overall, in a pretty good spot. He does have Schism still face up, which could potentially summon another Winda next turn. And with it, send another card. And he's got the Invocation. Sending a Light in the Dark from hand. Getting rid of the Fleur. And it might be Dragon. I can't tell. And looks like we're going to see Chainlink 2 Dragon. Chainlink 1 Construct. So it is a Dragon. And he is going to attempt to clear that loss rule, which you have to do. And that's going to add on a lot more damage here. But he does have another trap for summon. He's got Torrential Tribute. So maybe that's why he wasn't feeling so eager on scooping. Because, you know, he did have Imperm Torrential, which is pretty good cards. But I mean, after getting Lancia'd for 2 turns in a row and having a Winda, you know, you could see how it'd be very enticing to just scoop it up right then and there. So, of course, Construct is still going to resolve. And he will also get to add back off of Construct, but I still don't think there's a target engraved regardless. So he's going to use Construct to send Ariel. And Ariel is going to multi-banish here. And that Torrential's also done something else here. It's loaded up the graveyard big time for Schism to still be able to control the game with. And Ariel can just go ahead and, banish all 3 Dinos here. Taking care of that miscellaneous threat for the following turn. And I guess one thing technically he could do, too, if Misk wasn't able to be removed, he could just chain Schism to the Misk Engrave. And then, you know, Winda sees that one special summon, and the game is pretty much over from there, I feel like. I mean, our Invoke player is top decking here, and our Dino player is setting 1. So it's probably a baby, let's be honest, or it could be like a set Archosaur. Who knows? But what did our Invoked player draw? It looks like, I can't tell, but it kind of looked like a Dogmatica card, at least from my perspective. I could be wrong on that one. Whatever it is, he can't use it, so he is just going to pass. Our Dino player is going to set 1 card in the same column as that Schism. And looks like he is going to end turn there as well. And another draw here for our Invoked player. Is it something he can use? Now, if there is an Imperm set in that same column, which I feel like it's very easy to read that it is an Imperm because it was purposefully set in the same column as Schism. But, you know, the Imperm cannot activate right now. There are no legal targets on board. So we're going to see him summon Apgalone now. And does he play more than 1 Gravity Controller? Actually, I don't know if Gravity Controller has even been used this game yet. So yeah, there is Gravity Controller to save the day. And it's a Call by the Grave. That is going to hurt. Oh, there's the Alistair. He saved the Alistair. Right up till the bitter end. Oh my god. Our Invoked player just has anime level power here. The anime level top decks, the comeback play is absolutely cracked. I'm sure he's watching this right now laughing about it because he's just that cracked sometimes. You gotta love to see it. So linking into the Magistus link, using the invocation to banish both Lancia and Alistair to go for Makaba. And of course, invocation recycling itself back in the deck, adding back the Alistair in the process. So, wow, what a turn of events there. Attacking over the baby and then swinging in with everything else. Getting as much damage as he can. Putting our Dino player down to 5,200 to our Invoked player's 8,000 still. Got a full HP. And now has an Omni Negate, and I believe Schism is still online. Based on all the fodder in the grave at that point, thanks to that huge torrential tribute that happened earlier. And he's going to pass. And I think this is probably where we'll see game. Now, at this point, if you're the Dino player, I don't know why you didn't scoop. But he might have been tapping the top of his deck there to jokingly concede. Because he might know what's coming at this point. Of course, he does have that setup. Normal summon for Alistair. Grab Invocation. I don't think there's any attributes in the grave for our Invoked player to use. So he's just going to banish Alistair in the dark. And he's going to summon Invoked Agodes. And recycle the Invocation. And I believe, yeah, that's just going to be game right there. So yeah, because I believe, yeah, that's 2,500, 1,000 from Gravity Controller, another 800, and then I'm not sure what Agodes has, but I believe that is just going to be game, and our Invoked player is going, or our Dino player going to scoop has UCT and Kumungus in hand. Not much you can do there. So a very nice 2-0. I wouldn't say a swift 2-0, but a well-earned 2-0 against the Dino strategy. By that of Invoked Dolls. So I hope you guys enjoyed this one. And also, Invoked Dolls took first place here in this local. So I will be posting the first place deck profile right after this video. So do not forget to check it out. You know, keep an eye on the channel for that upload. And yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Leave a like if you enjoyed. Again, don't forget to check out the first place list for Invoked Shaddolls. Went 4-0 in this tournament. And yeah, leave a like if you enjoyed. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. And as always, we're going to kill. Signing out. We'll see you guys in the next one. And as always, a special thanks goes to all the YouTube members that support this channel. And a huge thank you to all the Divine Level channel members that support as well. And our Divine Level channel member is Cadillacs84. So a huge shout out to you, man. Thank you for your continued and very generous support of this channel.